Hi guys, thanks for joining us again here at GP Knives. This week we have a very special edition of Carry or Bury. So this could turn into a series if you guys like it. It's where Kich and I decide if we're going to carry a knife or bury the knife. But the mystery here is that we don't know what they are. So a staff member here at GP has taken amongst themselves to pick out 6 knives, and we are going to decide on the fly if we want to carry that knife or we want to bury it away forever. So I hope you guys like it. Should be a lot of fun. Join us. All right, we are ready for our first knife, offered by cameraman Shane. What do we have, Kitch? Woo, that's a nice one.
It is. So this is a Spyderco Autonomy. I do like this knife. Immediately probably going to put it in the carry pile for me.
Well, that was fast, guys.
It was. So these are really neat. I think that it's more of a purpose-built auto than what you get with like a ProTech or something. Those are more like EDC. You can kind of, use it every day to cut open boxes.
Right.
You could use this for that too, but this is kind of special because it's got LC200N steel. It was one of the first knives to come out from Spyderco to have that, and then it's an automatic. So it's meant for like, you have to cut rope, you have to cut something one-handed on a boat, water, something like that.
Sure.
Pull this bad boy out, bam, cut, close back up. It won't rust everything on stainless steel. And it's also got this really cool thing where this is where your spring is, and that has holes there, so you can just kind of wash that out with water. If you get
is that why that's oversized?
Grit, stuff like that.
That's cool.
So I like it. I would definitely carry it. It's maybe a little bit more, specific as to when I would carry it. I probably wouldn't throw this in my pocket and carry it around. It's kind of big and chunky.
Sure.
But I would use it if I was into like nautical things.
That's cool. So the Autonomy series, this is really cool. It's kind of like it's Spyderco's tactical ops. Like they go pretty hardcore when they go into that, because this just screams tactical to me. Like you said, it's all blacked out. The hardware, the liners, everything. The LC200N is pretty cool, but it's also curious to me, like why they coated it. Like, coating LC200N, it's like super stainless.
Agreed.
But overall, yeah, this is a super neat, like purpose-built knife. But honestly, I don't need a purpose. I think I would carry it anyway. I think I would carry it because it's cool. Yep. So I just find this knife to be in the cool category for me as far as carrying. I can see it being a little intimidating for people if they do pull it out and they're around others, Yeah. It's like, dang, your knife is kind of...
Big automatic knife,
it's kind of a little scary of a knife, but it's really thick handle. You get a good grip, I'm sure, if you're wearing gloves, if you are some kind of tactical operator, for sure. It's got a safety on it, which is nice. I like that. So you can lock that blade up, but boy, does it fire out.
Yeah, it does. It's got that big oversized button too if you have gloves on.
Right. So that's totally got a purpose too. Sometimes you look at a Spyderco and you're like, why do they do these things? This big button here and this big pivot here. And like you explained, they all have a purpose.
Yep.
Feels really good in the hand. You can flip the clip, which is cool. Tip up carry. I got no problems with that knife. That is definitely a carry knife for me.
You win, buddy. Sticking around.
Take it or leave it. Carry or bury. Let's do another one, Shane. Ooh.
Claymore. Two autos in a row.
All right.
I actually love this knife. I'm not the biggest auto guy, which is funny, especially since we got 2 in a row and I'm going to carry both of them. But whenever this knife first came out, I really liked the ergonomics on it, and I liked how it kind of has some like special touches. It says FTE on this in Morse code, which is front towards enemy, which is on the front of a Claymore.
Super cool.
You get a deep carry clip. It's super lightweight. Got those Grivery scales on it. And then there's CPM D2, which is really tough steel, pretty easy to sharpen still. Not good corrosion resistance, but it doesn't matter because they Cerakote it.
Sure.
You get safety, big button. I like this one a lot. That one's a carry for me.
And definitely for a lot of similar reasons from the last knife we just looked at, the Autonomy. It's a very similar size. So you've got that grip to where, if you're wearing a glove, you're good. It's got this big tactile like button here with the texture on there. I like the steel. When this first came out, I will tell you, I was a little sad because it was only in parts rated. And I know that they're like, hey, it's our tactical line, our black glass, that's why they do that. But everybody obviously was screaming for this plain edge. So once that happened, I'm like, I'm all on board. I really like the Claymore. And I'm even more excited for the mini Claymore coming up very soon. I think we actually just got invoiced for some. And I am definitely, not only am I carrying, I'm getting that knife. I'm getting a mini Claymore if you saw that at SHOT Show.
Definitely.
That's it just brings it down to a more EDC-friendly size than this bigger size. But even though the full size, the big brother Claymore, I'm going to carry that knife.
Definitely.
So we're on board for both of those autos.
Really good pick for someone who wants kind of a tactical knife that can kind of flex into that everyday, like, cool, check out my knife role.
Right, for sure.
Good job, buddy.
Nice pick, Shane. All right. Can they all be this good, Shane? Kich, can they all be this good?
We'll see what this one is.
All right. We'll take the look at the next one then. What do we got there?
Shane, what's this one called? It's a Fox something. Radius.
That's a good call.
So I think that
Radius.
this is a cool knife. For me, it's going to be a Berry. I'm a lot better at working it now than I was when we first got it.
I was going to say you're pretty good at that.
But I don't know. It's not for me. I'm not a very big like gimmick guy, and to me it's kind of a gimmick. I also like knives that I can kind of flick open if I have to, and this one's kind of hard to do that too. I'm also kind of afraid that closing it like that, I'm going to cut my fingers off. So I'm going to stop playing with it so much. And it's just not for me. I think it is a good knife, especially if you want to have a knife that's different. You have a knife that you can kind of show off. And
it's unique.
Especially a knife that you can just like hand to people and be like, hey man, try and open that.
Check that thing out, huh?
You know? Then they can't open it up because they can't figure it out. But for me, that's going to be a Berry. Nothing against the knife, just definitely not my thing.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see that. So I remember when this mech came out, I think at one of the Blade shows, and everyone had to check it out. It was like, how does that work? Can you fling it or flick it? And like you said, you can't really do that. You put your thumb on there and you want to just like put it out there. You really can't. You got to, and like I said, when you start to close it, you almost think, oh, geez, am I going to get my fingers out of the way on that thing? So overall, design-wise, this knife from Fox, it's a nice size. I like the blade shape. Not a big fan of N690 Co-Steel. But this oversized pivot area for me is just, it doesn't do it aesthetically for me either.
It's not very comfortable in the hand either.
Right. So it is a very interesting lock and how to do it. It's definitely like an innovation type thing for me. And like you said, it's a little more gimmicky, so it's definitely not my style either. Even though it is smooth. It's smooth to operate. You push the button in, goes up, goes down. Maybe there are guys out there who've gotten really good at it and like, man, look at that, I can really fling this thing out. And maybe we could get better at it, but since Kich and I are novices, I believe we are going to bury this one. We're both going to bury the Fox Radius.
Sorry, dude.
R.I.P. Fox.
Did not make the cut.
Thanks for coming, though. All right, Kich, what's up next? Oh my goodness, it's not a knife.
Yeah, little Perrin Mini. Yeah, so that's weird.
Yeah, you did not expect an O-light.
I think that this is an awesome light, though. So it's rechargeable on the base. It's a 90-degree angle light, so you can clip it here. I think that this is a really cool light for someone who wants a small, like, everyday carry light that they can kind of just, like, clip and forget. Right. I carry a light every day. Mine's a regular one, but I think that I had a guy, Mo, the guy who picked all these one time, he told me that there are two things that you should always carry, a knife and a light, because it's always going to get dark and you're always going to need to cut something. So I would carry it just because it's a light. Just because it's a light.
Okay. So I would carry it because I like running. I like having a headlamp, and I actually have one of these. This small and put it on the headband is great. I can angle it down towards my trail, so when it's dark, I can see where I'm running, see where I'm going. So for me, carrying-wise is just as a headlamp. I would absolutely carry it that way. It's a perfect size for that. It's easy to adjust on the fly when you're. They have different levels. So like when I'm running, I can make it higher beam or lower beam. Sometimes there's a little mist out there, a little fog, and you want a little different higher or lower beam. That's perfect because it's easy to adjust. It's right on the side, right by your head. Easy to charge. I obviously don't have the clip on it. I don't have a need for the clip. But yeah, I'm going to carry this too. I'm going to run with it. So
easy win.
Good
job.
Way to go, White. Well, that was a doozy. They thought they'd get us, Kich, but we handled it pretty well. Let's see what they have for us next. Back to a knife.
What's this one called?
Pentagon XR.
That was just a test. I knew it was a Pentagon XR. So this is a weird one for me. I kind of like it, kind of don't like it that much. The main knock I have on it that's going to lose its carry status for me is that this jimping back here is super rough, and whenever I go to deploy the knife, it kind of tears my little baby finger up. So that's going to be a no for me.
So it's after the flip.
It is. And it's hard for me to kind of get in there on that thumb stud too.
I got you.
So I think it's a neat knife. I like the design of it. I like how it kind of looks like double edged and it has this little sharpened piece up here. I think it's neat. I think it's useful. I think that a lot of people will like it. And maybe if you wear gloves, because it is kind of a more tactical knife. Sure. You won't feel that, but I don't, wear gloves at work all day. And just from doing it now, it's kind of like hurting my finger. So bury.
Gonna bury that one, huh? Well, it is a fidget-friendly knife, I'll tell you that.
For sure. Super smooth.
For me, it feels pretty comfortable in hand. It's on the larger end maybe of knives. It's got this nice G10 with liners, a little deep carry clip on there. So it's got this pull down lock on here, which is really nice. It's ambidextrous, which is really cool. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I really want to like it. Yeah, the thumb studs are a little tough too.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying on the flipper there. Jeez, I don't know. It's a good looking knife. I remember when this came out, this Pentagon XR. This came out, it's got XHP, which is a really cool steel. I've always been a fan of XHP. It's a really nice stainless steel. It's kind of underrated in my mind. I wish I used it more. Definitely. I wish more companies did.
I love the way it looks. For me, it's purely like function. It's not really the form. It's like really comfortable in hand. It's got a neutral handle. It doesn't really have any place that like there's no hot spots, but just kind of the way it operates just isn't my thing.
Right. Yeah, I like the spear point blade on it too. I think I have more things in the pros than I do the cons.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I think I'm going to carry this one. Try this knife. Very fidgety.
Super fidgety.
Mm-hmm. So that was a tough one. Mixed reviews on that one, Kich. We'll see what they have for us next, huh?
It's a pin.
It's a pen.
It's a pin. So while I think that this is an excellent pin.
What is it?
It's a Benchmade longhand, because it's the big one. And it could even, it's kind of got like the Kubotan thing going on.
Sure.
So for me, I'm going to have to bury it because I don't carry an expensive pin because I lose them constantly. Here at work, I leave my Bic pin laying around everywhere. So if I carried this, undoubtedly, one of the people here at GP would have to keep reminding me where it's at. And I don't really need a Kubotan either. So for me, I'm going to bury it, but I do think that it's really cool. It's basically an access lock for the mechanism. Yeah. So it's kind of a bolt action pin that you can use with both fingers, single finger. I think it's a neat knife, got a deep carry clip on it. Or it's not a knife, it's a pin. It's a neat pin. See, confusing me by giving me things that aren't knives. But for me, it's going to be a no-go just because I would lose it.
Well, I personally don't have Kitch's problems. I've had a lot of, not a lot, but I've had a few expensive pens on my days. And I like them. I like to keep track of them. I like to keep them in my bags, especially if they have a nice clip on them.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them in there and just use them special occasions, whatever. Sit them on my desk and look pretty. Feels pretty good in hand. This one is the stainless steel version, I believe. It's got some weight to it. I like this little Benchmade clip on there, which is really nice. And yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's durable. It's tumbled stainless steel. So I have no reason not to carry this pen. Not that I carry a pen everywhere. It's not like your knife in your light story. I don't have to carry a pen either.
You're always going to need to write something down.
True.
Maybe,
you might always, yeah, definitely. But for me, I'm gonna carry this pen. I like this pen a lot. I think it's really nice. As far as expensive pens go, they really do get up there. Some of them do, and those I'm like, I don't need a $500 pen. But this is not a $500 pen. If it's under $100 or something and it's nice made, USA made pen, I'm gonna carry it.
Really creating some division here at the GP Knives video table.
They're working us pretty hard this week. All right, guys, that was fun, Kitch. What do you think?
Yeah, it was a good time.
Cool segment for us here. So we've got a grouping here of basically our favorites, I'd say, of what we've seen today. Kitch, if you had to pick one to carry today, what would it be?
It's going to be the Claymore.
Nice.
Easy win.
Good choice.
I think that it's a very versatile kind of knife. Like it can fill any kind of like tactical role. You can kind of carry it to like cut boxes, whatever. It also just looks cool and it's comfortable in my hand. And then it kind of has some things that like the Spyderco would be my second choice, but it's a little bit more purpose driven. Mm-hmm. And I don't do a lot of stuff that needs to be LC200 in with a big button.
Sure, I can see that. I am going to go with the Spyderco just because it's really cool. I think it's well done. I love the blade on that. Love the action on it. Mm-hmm. So it speaks to me. It's a super cool knife. I've got an all black PM2 that would just kind of go hand in hand with that one. So definitely going to go with the Autonomy 2. Love that knife. Hope you guys like it too.
All right, guys, that's it for today. Let us know what you thought about this format. Obviously, it was a little bit different, but I think it's a good opportunity to kind of get to know Chris and me a little bit better. Make sure you guys hit the comments down below. Let us know what you would carry or bury from this week's segment. See you guys next week.
Thanks for watching.